Alright, this is Matthew Taylor with Taylor Boys Outdoors. Today I'm just going to show y'all some of the rigs we use. That's the most common question. Asked. I'm going to go over the basics. You're going to need you a peg float of some sort. I like to use these little rattles right here sometimes. A two-way swivel and a bead to protect your knots. This one right here is already tied up. I'm gonna break it down and show y'all exactly how I do it today. Alright, you want to put your sinker slide on there. I like to use these so you can clip your weights out. You can put a 3-ounce weight, or say you got a lot of current and you need more weight, you can just clip it, put a 8 or 9, however much ounce weight you need on there. That's your first thing you need to do. And I run 80-pound braid on most of my rods. Then coming up with there, I like to put a bead, just a rubber bead. A lot of people, they use regular beads. They're not rubber to protect the knot, but that's not really protecting your knot, because it don't give. This rubber bead right here helps out a lot though. Then you put your swivel. I just tie a clinch knot. That's all I use. You go around 6 times and you run it back through the bottom hole. I always lick it to make sure it seals down real good. Pull it tight. You could trim that tag in off right here, but it ain't gonna hurt nothing. Not this. I just like to trim it off though. So far you got your sinker slide, your bead, a 2-way swivel. From there I like to run 65, 80-pound leader. I use mono, that's all I use. Some people like fluorocarbon, it don't matter. Get you a little bit of that. I use 2 different kinds of knots. Sometimes I'll use a snail knot. I'm gonna show you that one first. And all you do, run it through the front end of the hook, right there. Wrap it around 6 to 8 times. Pull it up good and tight. Then you run your line back through the back of the hook. I like to call it in the front door, out the back door. Just like that. Pull it tight. That's one knot I like to use. And I'll show you one more also. This right here is just a clinch knot. That's what I call it. I don't know the name for it. Or the improved clinch knot. It's just tied the same way pretty much. You make your 6 loops around. 2, 4. You run it through the bottom eye, through the bottom loop. And if you was going to tie a clinch knot, you'll pull it tight right there. If you want what they call an improved clinch knot, you run it back through the top hole, hold it, lick it, pull it tight. And that's your clinch knot. And this right here is your snail knot. Most people use the snail. They say they have better hookup ratios, which most of the time I use this clinch knot, but I have used this knot. And from there, you trim this off a little bit. Now, I like to run what they call a modified Carolina rig, or that's what we call it. You just put your peg float on. Put your peg float on. I like to keep about 4 or 5 inches above the hook. You'll have it just like that. And this rig right here, you can use it for cut bait or live bait. Then you just tie it to your swivel. Sometimes I like to use beads and rattles on these things also. It just makes a little noise. And I'll show y'all how I do that. These rattles right here, sometimes I believe they make a lot of difference, sometimes not so much. Especially if you're fishing in current or live bait. They don't make a lot of noise, but just a little bit. You can slide this straight on your line and have it just like that. But sometimes I believe if a fish is biting the whole hook, if he feels that right there, he might let go of it. So what I like to do is get a couple of these beads, run them on there. I just like to use 3 or 4 of them. Put them beads on there just like that. So if the fish bites, he won't feel this big piece of plastic. There it is right there. Then you can put your float on there if you want. There you got it right there. Or you can run it without the float, it don't matter. I'm gonna show you another way I like to do it. I'm gonna take all this stuff back off. I'm gonna put my float on there first. And it's really just whatever you like. I'm gonna put this right here in the bottom this time. Okay, just like that. Now I'm gonna run this rattle on top of my cork. Just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and tie this up. I'm gonna use the clinch knot. This is the first knot I ever learned how to tie when I was 5 or 6 years old, and I still use it. It ain't going nowhere like that. That thing makes a lot of racket if it's any current. Like I said, you ain't got to use these rattles, and sometimes I don't use them. It's just I like to have a variety. Like I said, this is my main rig I go to, and it's called a sinker slide rig, or that's what I call it. I'm not 100% sure what it's called. That's my #1 rig I like. I'm gonna show y'all what I call a demon dragon. This right here is the same rig. I just ain't got a bead right there to protect my knot. I must have been in a hurry, but I do like to run a bead. Some people don't, but I believe it helps if you run a rubber bead now. But I must have been in a hurry this day. Same thing. I got about an 8-inch leader going to the top of the demon dragon. Then 3 to 5 inch leader coming off to my hook. And this right here takes place of that float right there. And it just has a lot of rattles in it. They're kind of expensive, but you ain't gotta, this is a Demon Dragon brand. You ain't gotta have this particular one. They make a few different kinds. This right here is another one they make. I don't know who makes this one. They got all different colors. This is another demon dragon. That's just another way I like to do it. I'm gonna show y'all one more of my rigs I like to use. This right here, this is pretty much the same rig down low toward the hook, same rig down here. It's just a little bit different up here. I ain't got a sinker slide, and there's places I need this right here and you don't need no sinker slide. Say if you're fishing heavy cover, you don't want that weight sliding up and down your line. You want your weight to stay where you got it. So for instance, you using a live brim or something, he don't swim you into that brush. You got him tied down right here. And I'm gonna show y'all exactly how to use this. Alright, this is the hook I snailed up earlier. So I'm just going to tie it to this.